Communication is the key to our survival, and it's one of those skills that we've never actually really enhanced so well. The divine masculine and the divine feminine energies are completely different to those of the wounded or synthetic masculine and feminine energies. Aggressive, violent, dangerous, vindictive, spiteful, blaming. We have that within ourselves. Everybody does, because that is how society has trained us to be. Especially in a Western country, our men here are so shut down. Welcome, wisdom keepers, soul tribe, and new earth leaders to Soul Temple, your haven for self-discovery and growth. I'm Blythe Langford, and I am your guide to finding yourself and your true purpose. Together, let's shift from feeling stuck and misaligned to living a life of purpose and prosperity. I don't know if you've realized that communication is the key to our survival, happiness, and it's one of those skills that we've never actually really enhanced so well. We're all about how we can communicate with everything else around us. Yet we haven't really learnt the skills of listening so well. Now, I'm super passionate about this because I was a hairdresser for 20 years. 20 years of listening to people. I had a new client in my chair every 45 minutes telling me a whole different story. And I had to, in a minute, figure out everything that they loved, everything that they hated, and then give them something that would make them feel like the most beautiful thing on the planet, right? So my listening skills had to be second to none. And I want to help you harness your communication skills. Now, first of all, I want to also bring this back to the difference between male and female listening. Now, we're going to go into this a lot deeper in other podcasts, but right now I'm just going to give you the overbrief of the whole listening thing. Now, with men in their lives require freedom. So if you can help a man feel free, he is going to feel like a woman does safe, because a woman's most important thing to feel is safety. Now, I also want to bring this back to our divine nature and our synthetic nature. What the fuck are you talking about? Also dive deeper into this in another podcast. But the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies are completely different to those of the wounded or synthetic masculine and feminine energies. So the masculine energies, like imagine a divine man. So like a knight, like a knight is grounded, supportive. They're also very intuitive. They're very calm, cool, collected. They can hold space really well. They make you feel safe as fuck. That is the divine masculine. And the divine feminine energy is really like, imagine not just a goddess priestess like everybody's doing, but imagine a mother. They hold you, like Mother Earth holds you, provides you with abundance and safety and nurturing, and has all of your needs being met. You just feel cared for and looked after, like this beautiful mama energy that's just like, oh, give me a hug, I need some of you. That would be the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Versus the synthetic masculine or the synthetic feminine. So also classed as what people would say as toxic masculine and feminine energy. So toxic masculine is really aggressive, really violent, like dangerous. You can't trust them. Like their energy is going to be sexually violating. That would be a synthetic masculine. And the synthetic feminine or the toxic feminine would be vindictive and spiteful and blaming as well, and very triggering, and like that really chasing energy and super needy and like just blah, like we have that within ourselves. Everybody does, because that is how society has trained us to be. And we have all of this masculine and feminine, the dualities of the synthetic and the divine within us. So it's about recognizing where we are in any one moment so that we can use these energies to come back into our organic state and use ourselves and our divine nature so that we can communicate effectively. because that's all what communication is about. It's about effectively expressing ourselves so that the other person can understand our what's going on in our lives. But equally, the most important thing that we can do with communication is understand what is going on for the other person as well. So divine listening is so important because a lot of us are just so wanting to express ourselves that we forget how to listen and be receptive of the information that the other person is so deeply wanting us to understand too. Now, we'll go into that again in another podcast. But right now, what I want to share with you is the 3 elements of a relationship. Because in a relationship, there is 3 energies. There's yourself, your own energy, your partner and their energy, and then there's the actual relationship and its energy. So each one of these 3 things is a different energy. And if you are in a relationship with another person, whether it's a loving relationship, a sexual relationship, or any relationship, there is 3 parts, 3 elements to every relationship. And so it's really important that we're working on each one of those. So working on our own energy so that we can be really strong and clear with ourselves so that we can come into the relationship with beautiful boundaries for ourselves so that the other partner in the relationship, they can have beautiful boundaries for their self as well. And when these 2 beings that are both strong in their boundaries, working on a relationship and the relationship's boundaries, then you're in a divine union. And that's all what we're really here for, is this divine union where we feel so met and so seen and so loved, yet we are also seeing the other with such fucking love that you just fall in love with every single part of their being, and you're in love with yourself, and you're both working on this divine union, on this relationship. How can you have this divine relationship that is so beautiful that you both want to show up for each and every day? And like I said, this doesn't necessarily just need to be with with you and your beloved. This can be with you and your business partner, because believe me, or you and a work colleague, those relationships are even trickier because there's no intimacy as such. You have to work just generally a little bit harder on those relationships. So you'll need to, again, work on your own energy, listen and hear and be receptive of what that other being is trying to express to you. And then it's like, okay, cool. How do we both want this relationship to grow? And I believe this is why I've been most successful with my salons and my businesses being to 7 figures, and why my teams have fucking killed it and made so much money as well, because we've all understood what it is that we all want out of our relationships. I also want to share, and that'll be a whole nother podcast being about leadership, because I am obsessed with leadership and effective leadership, because that will change your life, no matter whether you are a business owner or a manager or a leader or a CEO or a CFO, whatever your role is, divine leadership will change your life. With communication, you'll probably notice this within yourself. The thing that we do most is when that person starts speaking, before they've even finished expressing themselves, we're judging, and we are, through the filter of our own lens, trying to express our opinion on them. So we are in that moment projecting our feelings of what it is that they are saying back onto them. And then before they've even been able to express their message, we have changed the trajectory of the communication of what we are actually doing. So what I would invite you to do with anybody that you are communicating with, and notice your own internal dialogue when this is going on, because believe me, it'll start to be triggered. Start to listen without interrupting. So let the other person express themselves completely and allow them to finish in their own time without interrupting them. And then before you express and communicate from a triggered space, take a deep breath and allow yourself to incorporate what they have shared with you into your being, so that you can communicate in a way that's going to be really effective for what's needed in that moment, not from a place of your wounds and needing to express yourself so that you are being heard and seen and all of those things, because you're slipping into the toxic part of yourself. But allow yourself to be integrated and breathe in for a moment, because then you'll calibrate new neuro pathways within your brain, and you'll go to the part of your brain that's able to use both sides within balance. So your logic and your creativity in that one moment, and you'll be able to come up with a great place for where this relationship and where this conversation is going to go. And then rather than it being two of you butting heads with each other, it'll be both of you in divine flow of where the magic of this relationship and this communication can go. Because what I find is once you start working with the energy of the other person and start communicating together and listening and playing with the energy together, even in a work scenario, it's so magical where you guys can end up, because the relationship starts to flow and it's really beautiful. And you get on this like playfulness and you realize that work can be fun and that you can co-create magic together. And imagine what would happen if that was you and a person that you were like liking and you wanted to get in a relationship to. You're vibing and the energy goes together, but you've got really strong boundaries as well. That could be potentially a divine union. Or if it's you and a beloved, and you, for the first time, if you're a woman, for the first time, actually give your partner, your boyfriend, your husband, a chance to speak completely in entirety when you may not have been doing that before. Allowing him to be seen and heard, especially in a Western country. Our men here are so shut down. They are so shut down from the synthetic, toxic woman's perspective. And it's not the woman's fault. It's how society has programmed us. And it's okay because we're waking up to new ways of being. But if you can give your man divine connection and space and be able to sit there and look into his eyes and allow him to share with you what's really going on for him. Oh, honey bunny. Whew. You will start to tap into your divine feminine nature, because your man will start to feel safe to communicate with you. And fuck, it's what he's been waiting for. Remember, 20 years of hairdressing, literally spoke to men and women about their relationships every fucking day and did so much training on this. So it's like a passion of mine to be able to help people to communicate together. Because what I found was that a lot of women would be like, I'm just trying to get my message across and trying to get him to understand me and trying to share what it is that I want to say. And he just keeps on avoiding me and stepping back and going further and further away. Yeah, because babe, you are like pushing him away with your energy. Your energy is becoming so needy. And remember what I said at the start, a man more than anything needs to feel free, because that's how he feels safe with you, when you allow him freedom. So maybe you need to share your message and give him space so that he can feel free. It's the same within like your work scenario, especially if you're a woman and you are leading men and you always coming down as the authority figure over the men in your business. You are acting probably like a woman that has been a caretaker or a mother, and you have that mother toxic energy coming down on him. He's just going to tap out. He's going to avoid the situation. He is like not present with you anymore. When you think that you need to go harder and like be stronger and more assertive with that man, you are pushing him away even more. And he's not thinking that you're masculine in that moment. He's thinking that you're like his mother or you're like his grandma or his auntie, and he's gone into a trauma response, and that's why he's fucking emotionally tapped out, right? So provide space by coming back into your divine masculine and feminine, because we all have divine masculine and feminine energies within us. I'm going on a trajectory here, but a lot of women feel like they are more masculine in their energy. Let me ask you this. If there is a lioness with her cubs, what do you think her energy is going to be like? A divine mother in her energy is going to be fighting tooth and nail for those cubs. It's the female lioness that goes to fucking fight rather than the male. She's the one that's going to fight for her kids, right? I mean, they both will, but mothers are out there. It'll be the mother that fights for her kids and her cubs even more. So we've been trained to think that feminine energy is not fierce. Feminine energy is fierce. It will fight for those behind us. It will do whatever it takes for life to come through, because that's what feminine energy does. It fights tooth and nail for life force, right? But you don't need to attack your man. You will fight for them, not against them. We are in a holy relationship together, a holy, divine, committed relationship together. So we want to work with both of these dualities of relationship and energy. Went on a tangent, but I thought that was really important because I know a lot of women feel like they're masculine in their energy. And I'm just here to say, sister, no, you're not. You're an epic legend that just cares so much, and people aren't used to fierce feminine energy. So do not put yourself down and think that you are masculine. Instead, just balance out what is going on in your world and find other epic, fierce women that are also balanced in their sacred masculine and feminine energies. Both are vitally important. Both are going to be what helps you feel more balanced inside as well. Coming back to not judging the other person. We just want to express ourselves, and we feel wounded when our other party is telling us these other things because we're not breathing in our nervous system. So we're stuck in our head. We're stuck in our fight, fright, freeze, or fawn response. And that's why we're in our wounding. And that's why we need to be letting them know from our toxic, synthetic version of ourselves that we need to correct the situation, that we need to fix and change and da-da-da-da. No, babe, you don't need to do that. You just need to listen and allow them to express. Once they've expressed, rather than you having all the solutions, we figure out the solution together. So thank you. This is what I would always say. Thank you so much for sharing your point of view. Wow, I had no idea that you were feeling that way. What is the solution that you've thought of through this? What's the end game here? What is it that you actually want the end result of this to be? And they'll have one of two answers. They've thought of the answer, or they'll figure it out right then and there, or they have no fucking idea. So either way, if they have thought about the solution that they want, amazing, great. They've actually thought about the solution. You don't need to worry. Allow that to actually sit in your being and see if that is something that you want to work with together. Or if it is something that doesn't really align with you, the best thing that you can do is not answer in that moment. Say, look, thank you so much for your point of view. I love it. I don't know if it sits super well with me. So I just want 24 hours to just think about it. I just want to think about it. I don't want to decide right now. What you're saying, it's triggering a little bit within me. And I don't want to say no to what you're expressing here, because it might just be my wounds that are expressing their no, when actually what you've said is fucking epic. And I just need to calm my nervous system before I give you a response. Because once you calm your nervous system, and I generally find once I have a sleep and go for a run on it, or you might need to go and do some yoga or have a cacao, I don't know, then you'll have a different point of view on what that other person has said. So just don't respond straight away if you're hyper reactive. And I know, being somebody that has ADHD, babe, I'm fucking hyper reactive. That's why I meditate every fucking day, so that I can come back to people and not be like from my brain. I want to be responding from my heart and my spirit and my soul. And I want to make sure that we are in this journey of life together. And that's what I would love for you to experience too. Another really important thing with communication is acknowledge their experience. Too often we are hearing what somebody is saying to us, and we're just all on projecting our shit back onto them. So another really amazing thing that you can do is, once somebody has communicated with you, just say, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion with me. And just acknowledging them and saying thank you, it raises the vibration and the frequency of the whole communication, because they're like, wow, this epic legend is thanking me for just sharing my expression. And so you know what you're actually doing? You're encouraging more of that authentic expression. They're like, wow, you are providing a safe container. And then they'll want to share more with you, right? Because it's not just every single person feels safe in their being to communicate. So we actively, as humanity, need to create these safe spaces together. And it comes with practice, and it comes with showing up, and it comes with thanking the other person for their experience. And it comes with that other person feeling safe in your energy. Because we can talk about safe containers and all of that, and in our mind we can feel safe, in our heart we can feel safe, but you know what probably doesn't feel safe? Our body. Our body is something's not right here, because your gut is where you've got like all of this energy stored, and your gut might not be agreeing with your body and your mind. So that's why your body and your nervous system will take a lot longer to feel receptive in the communication with other people. So it might take a few times to show up and just be in that space and be a little bit awkward and be a little bit weird and not communicate effectively, but your body will be communicating and receiving energy. So that's okay too. Now, another thing that's really great, once you've taken the time to think about what it is and how it is that you want to respond, tune in with your response and how you feel. Like generally after you've taken 24 hours or even 12 hours to think about what a person has communicated with you, how you're going to respond is completely different to how it was yesterday. And you're thinking about this like, what's going to be the greatest thing for the greatest outcome for both of you, rather than just what is going to be the greatest outcome for your wounds and what your projections and what the ickiness that you are experiencing is. So it's going to be this beautiful response of, you know what, I heard about what you said, I thought about what you said, and like, I love it, like this, da 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 da, and I'd love to add in this. Because once once you can see the beauty in what they are responding to you, once you can see the beauty of how they are communicating with you, and then you add in your piece, then that's when this divine union happens and the communication becomes harmonious and beautiful and grounded, and you guys flow together. So you're not just up here in your minds and da, which is great, but you also want to ground the communication within your body, because that's what you really want. You want an embodied relationship. That's what we all want. That's what I believe, after, speaking to thousands of clients, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be felt. Everybody wants to be loved and cared for and nurtured. So take your time. Take your time. And also consider this: care versus people pleasing. A lot of it's when we want to respond straight away, we're responding from a place of people pleasing, from appeasing the other person. Yes, 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 especially if you are a high achiever or an overachiever, if you've been somebody that's grown up in chaos, which a lot of us are. That's a whole nother podcast, but I understand you, because similar to me, that's how a lot of us have grown up. We've grown up in a lot of chaos. We've grown up in a lot of emotionally unavailable caretakers that have looked after us. So we people please. We want to just like save the other person, especially if you're a coach or a leader. You want to save the other person. They're here to save themselves. You are here just to allow them to step into the embodiment of who they are. And once you can not save them anymore and allow them to find themselves in this communication, in this interaction, that's where the yumminess in your relationship starts to evolve, because you've empowered them. Especially if you're a woman talking about in a relationship with a man, then you're strengthening the parts where that man has been so suppressed by humanity, been so suppressed by the mainstream, being so suppressed by women. Because yes, women, we have fucking suppressed our men, and we want to give them these safe containers so that they can fucking light themselves up. Because guess what? When they do that, when you've been the woman that does that, they want to be in your energy. They want to be near you and hold your vision and protect you and serve you, because they fucking know that you care and you're not people pleasing and you're not needy. You are showing them the divine feminine in that moment. It's what your man has been waiting for. And believe me, I have spent 20 years of listening to suppressed men, and fuck, they just want a woman that can see them and hold a safe space. You think that your man wants a safe space? Fuck, your man wants a safe space. Fuck, he just wants a woman that can hear him and stop being so needy and toxically attaching to him. They want a woman that can just see him the same that you want. You both want the same thing. So yeah, just give that a go. I'm sure it'll really help. And if you're a man, your woman just wants you to see her. She may have all of this going like a lot. We call it like, I'll spend a lot of time with Tony Robbins. We call it a meadow report. And it's not ugly or bad, but it's when a woman is coming into her body, like when she's had an experience where she's coming out of herself, she's all up in her head. And so she'll just start to express and she'll just need to share things with you. And if you can try not to fix her, if you can just be there and hold her in her space, in her energy, and not fix her, and just listen. Oh, that's all she wants. You'll have her. You'll have her. And just look at her and just with your loving heart, just express your energy. Just hold, what I mean by that is you're sitting there across from her and you're just looking at her just with pure love, with whatever she is going through, whatever she's going through. And she might be telling you some crazy shit because chances are she will. And you just you don't need to fix it. You just need to be there. The fixing is you just listening. You will melt her heart and her heart will be yours. And I'm not saying that in a way where you can manipulate her or anything like that, because you can't. If you're sitting there in pure love listening to her, you're in your divine masculine and you're holding space for her. And that's all she wants. And she will open up to you like you want her to. And I'm talking about in all the ways, okay? I'm talking about in all the ways. She will open up to you. And I know that that's what you're scared of, being a man. Believe me, I've listened to a lot of you, thousands of you. You're scared of a woman's full energy because you're scared of your own energy as well. You're scared of tapping into your divine masculine as well because it's so easy not to commit. It's so easy not to commit to a woman. And many men are so scared to commit to women and they just end up in relationships with women who have manipulated them to get them there. I know, I've seen it too. It's fucking gross. And if you practice these things with a woman, then you can get her into her divine femininity and you will have a relationship that you, your mum and dad, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, and all your ancestral line has been waiting for. Because if you do this, it's what your ancestors have called you here to do. This relationship will change the trajectory of our planet. This divine union will change the upbringing of children so that they can see what a real relationship is. And then they will choose relationships that aren't toxic, that aren't violent and suppressive and all of the yuck stuff that we went through. Your healing in this divine communication will change children and change adults. And that's it. That's everything. It changes everything. It changes the trajectory of this world. And it's the relationship that you're here for. You're here for this divine expression of pure love. So open yourself up to the possibility, but that a committed relationship is potentially there for you because sweetheart or divine masculine dude or whoever is out there listening, I know that your heart yearns to be seen and heard. I know that your body wants to be caressed like it's never been caressed before. And I know that your soul and spirit wants this divine union. And did you know that your bodies, when you actually are with somebody long term, your actual inside your bodies, both of you, this is going to be full on out there, but your genitals actually start to communicate with each other long term. And when you do this over a long period of time, they have their own consciousness and they start to develop together and they evolve together. And that's why the mainstream is trying to break down relationships, right? And especially between the masculine and the feminine. I mean, people that were born with a vagina and a penis, because this divine union is beyond sacred and it takes time. Sometimes it takes 15 years to develop. That's why divorce rates are so high, because the mainstream doesn't want this. So if you can be a fucking rebel in your relationship and show up for commitment and divine union, you're going to change this world and your life every day will get better and better. And your relationship within yourself and the relationship, your intimate relationships will get better, and every other relationship around you will be so yummy and scrumptious. So that's my hope for you. Communication, all of the things, enjoy it. And I can't wait to see how your relationship changes. So try this out. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how your love life, your sex life, your business life, your career, your leadership. Let me know in the comments how it goes. And yes, I cannot wait to host more retreats about this.
I'll
oh my
see you
God,
guys soon. I love you.
Thank you for joining me on Soul Temple. If this episode spoke to your soul, I would love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And do not forget to subscribe on your favorite platform. But don't let your journey end here. Connect with me and my like-minded community of souls at Blythe Langford on all social platforms. I really look forward to diving deeper with you on your journey.